All right, everyone, this is Flash Talk. I'm Michael Fossbeck, and this is Dylan Foley. We're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 6, Enter Zoom. So this is obviously, by the name, a big episode for Zoom.
Yep, it centers a lot around him, and it kind of lets us delve into his plans, his aspirations for what he wants to do with Barry, and then kind of builds up the tension between the two in this episode.
Right, exactly. And so first off, we have the plan that they come up with to defeat him.
Yep.
And which is kind of weird because you're thinking this is only the 6th episode in the season. How are they going to take down?
We already have
the main villain,
and,
right?
It's so
showing
early.
His face, basically, almost not actually his
yeah.
face.
Oh yeah, no. So we get to see some good looks where he's not vibrating or masking who he is.
Right. It's just the costume.
Yep, the costume, the bio flesh,
whatever it is.
Looks cool.
Kind of Venom looking type
looks
thing.
Great.
Yeah. So what is their plan?
So they devise a plan to use Earth 1 Linda Park in place of Earth 2 Linda Park, who's escaped after being defeated by Barry. So she turns invisible using
bending light, I'm guessing?
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So she kind of gets to reflect it almost like there's a camouflage. And so she gets out after, was it Cisco that lets her out because he doesn't see her?
Right, he looks inside the cage that she's in, and he doesn't see anyone, so then he opens the door and she runs out.
So now with the absence of her, they have to use Earth 1 Linda Parks. She becomes Dr. Light, and they go down to an abandoned docks area, and they learn from the Earth 2 Linda Parks that they have to take Barry's emblem and send it through a breach that goes to Earth 2.
Right.
Once that emblem goes to the other side, Zoom will come back through confirming the kill, getting Barry's body.
Right.
But prior to that, we get a lot of little training montage of Linda Park.
Earth 1 Linda Park.
Yeah, using the light beam gloves from Cisco.
More
better
convincingly.
stuff it does.
Yeah, she can more convincingly pretend she's Dr. Light.
Exactly, because it's all about making sure he thinks that she is who she is from Earth 2, not the Earth 1 person.
The real Dr. Light, right. Then we have Cisco trying to learn more about Wells using his special powers.
So early in the episode, Joe kind of goes up to him and tells him, have you touched him? Have you vibed him? And he says no. And he says, well, try
that.
So throughout the episode, we get a couple of funny scenes where we see Cisco, trying to bump into Wells and trying to tap him, and you can tell Wells is obviously very aware of the fact that Cisco is trying to
exactly what he's
him.
trying to do. Yeah, he turns around and he's just like, "What are you doing?"
Yes,
what
stay away from me.
Exactly.
Or at one point, we can tell. It's either where he wants to know what he saw or knows he saw something.
Right.
He gets very aggressive and asks him, what did you vibe about me? What did you vibe about me? So it's like...
That's the first time when he actually didn't see anything. And he's just like, what did you vibe about me? And he's just like being very aggressive towards Cisco. And Cisco's just like, okay, I'll back off.
And this is where Cisco kind of even sees more that this guy has something hidden.
Yeah, he's hiding something, clearly, if he's going to be that defensive.
Exactly.
He actually is able to vibe him eventually.
Yeah, bumps into him in the lab.
Right, and this is something that we didn't really talk about last week that we kind of missed, but Wells's daughter is Jessie Quick.
Yes, I can't believe neither one of us noticed that earlier.
Right, I didn't even really catch her name in that episode.
Nope, neither did I. So, once I heard Jessie, I was like...
And I totally forgot. I knew that she was going to be in the season, but I forgot.
Yep, so
and that they had cast her and everything.
We got her Jessie Quick, which will be interesting to see. Does she have her powers already? Is she working with Jay Garrick on Earth 2, maybe as a Wally West, Kid Flash type deal? Or has she gotten her powers, or will she get her powers from Zoom?
I don't think she has her powers, because I don't think she would have been... So when vibes Wells and he sees Jessie Quick, he sees her in that cage that Zoom has her in. So if she had her powers, do you think she would have gotten caught? I know that
No, that's where I think maybe at this point he either bestows the powers upon her, maybe she absorbs them, or some accident happens where Zoom might be the one who gives her the powers.
I think it has something to do with that, yeah.
Or maybe they find her where Zoom's hiding her, and then Wells, with one of the machines they use to try to capture Zoom, hits her, gives her super speed.
Yeah, because they were using this, so we'll get to the fight in a minute, but they were using that speed slowing gun.
Yeah, so the slowing speed down thing, which, if you think about it, for Wally West's reverse flashed Hunter Zolomon, instead of running at super speeds, he kind of creates a pocket around him that slows down time.
Oh, okay.
So he's not running at super speeds, he's actually slowing everything around.
Everything else is going slower.
Yeah.
And he's just moving at normal pace.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. And maybe that formula gets into her, and she kind of does the same sort of effect.
So yeah, they use that gun. It's more of a biomechanical thing that they
affects them on a cellular level.
Right. It's not like a metaphysical thing.
Sure, but maybe her cells react differently to it. It's kind of like a comic book type deal where it's whatever the formula is that interacts with your DNA in the cells on that level.
Exactly. When Wells finds out, we have a flashback where he finds out that his daughter's been kidnapped, and he finds out via a news report that Zoom, or I don't know if they name drop Zoom, but someone has
taken his daughter.
Yeah, someone has taken someone from a campus, a university campus. It happens to be her, because for some reason the news report decides to zoom in on a phone and it shows Wells calling
as he's calling.
I was like,
her.
That's kind of odd, and why would
it's very specific? Kind of funny.
But right before we get an Easter egg, right before that newscast, the news reporter is talking about something happening in Star City, which is that the Arrow has been unmasked, at least the Earth 2 version of Arrow, which is Robert Queen.
Our Earth 2 Arrow is Robert Queen, which is I called it from the beginning.
Oliver's dad, yeah. And so the story goes that on Earth 1, Oliver is shipwrecked with his dad. His dad sacrifices himself so that Oliver can live. Turns out on Earth 2, the exact opposite happened.
Which is so cool. Kind of brings in the comic book effect where, we kind of have Arrow in the show who's like Batman. In the comics Earth 2, Batman is Thomas Wayne.
Exactly.
So it's kind of the reverse.
Yeah, very similar.
Very cool.
I like it. And they even did the same trajectory of first Robert was known as the Hood. And
now he's known as the
Arrow.
Which brings into question, are we going to see a Earth 2 Green Arrow?
Probably. I'm thinking that maybe because I think they threw that Easter egg in there because they're prepping something.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's probably a Green Arrow type thing.
Well, we've had reports of Connor Hawke being a part of the show.
Just not sure if it's Earth 2, Earth 1.
So we don't know if it's Earth 1 or Earth 2, but it's also been stated that he's not going to be Oliver's son,
which he is in the comics.
So that could potentially be our Earth 2, maybe Roy Harper, who maybe then becomes the Green Arrow. Something like that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. Okay, so then we have the big fight that happens.
The Zoom fight.
Yeah.
That's a sweet fight.
Which is the highlight of the episode.
That is...
Within the last 10 minutes of the episode or so, we get to see Barry and Zoom duke it out for a while.
Yep. A cool move by Barry to do the free fall where there's no speed.
Yeah, where neither one can move faster than the other because they're just free falling.
At equal
rates. Shout out to my friend Jaime pointing out that there is a comic book series called, it's named after the term that Cisco used, something velocity, which is the term used for free falling objects. But so they have. I'm so impressed by what the CGI team is able to do. Because
absolutely,
they make those fights look so good.
Looks absolutely real, and it's just the computer.
And then so we have basically what happens is Zoom is winning the fight clearly.
Oh, absolutely.
Even Wells tries to get a shot off with that power slowing agent, but Zoom quickly turns around,
spins around and
grabs the dart, and takes both of them, one that Barry had as well, and stabs it right into Barry's chest.
Yep. So he loses his speed.
So
not only that, but he gets his butt whooped by Zoom.
I think it was kind of obvious that would happen, though. I mean,
absolutely, and it
given
only
how soon we're getting Zoom at all,
reaffirms how terrifying this villain is. How is Barry going to stop him?
I think they wanted to show him show how powerful he is.
Absolutely. So it's going to be some sort of team effort in the end to take down Zoom, no matter who it is.
So when he took Barry, and Barry was basically done, and he was just going around to different points of the city. He went to the newspaper, he went to the police station, and he just showed that this is your hero, but he's not a hero because I beat him.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that he was going to unmask Barry.
Oh, so did I, and I was getting so upset about that because I'm sick of them unmasking these heroes and sharing their identities with people.
Right. So I'm glad that he wasn't unmasked, but I think it served just as much of a purpose. I mean, his purpose was just to say, you guys looked up to Flash, but clearly he's nothing.
Absolutely.
Because
so it's a very strong message that he wants to send. Yeah.
So after the fight, Barry finds out that he's now paralyzed.
Yep, can't move his legs, can't move. So that's going to be, now we have two speedsters here that can't move, him and Jay. So.
Exactly. And next episode is all about Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah, well, in the preview, we get to see kind of Barry in the wheelchair, which, do you remember the device that Wells used to kind of act as a battery to give him speed because he kind of lost it from Earth 1 Ebarthon.
Yep.
Does Barry do something like that?
They would have to build a new one because they were using the remnants of that for the cane that Professor Stein was walking around with.
So that'd be some type of technology.
Before we get out of here, I just want to talk about this picture that you sent me about who Zoom could be.
Yep. So woke up, saw a really cool picture this morning on my newsfeed on Facebook. We see Zoom here side by side with a picture of Henry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of put the pictures inside of each other so you can kind of see the facial structures match up almost. Mm-hmm. I want to say exactly. It's uncanny, really.
Yeah, it shows 6 stages of going from what Zoom looks like in the show with his mask on to just sort of gradually superimposing John Wesley Shipp's face onto it.
Exactly. So you can see the nose almost is the same shape, the bent, the cheeks on the right side, the head.
Yeah, it's very convincing. So what do you think if it is...
If I think it's him, so I was thinking about it, and we get that shot of Barry in the prison. Maybe his dad actually does kill his mom somehow, and somehow ends up having speed, and then maybe frames Barry for it. Something happens.
There's a connection.
It's going to be something crazy.
If it is Barry's dad, then there's a connection to why Barry is in jail.
Absolutely.
I'm just not sure what it is.
That's the Earth 2 Barry. We still don't know for sure if that's Earth 2 Barry in that sequence when he's running back in time and we see Killer Frost and him in prison.
I think it is. But
I do too. I think he was saying Earth 2.
I think all of those things were Earth 2 because it was sort of a tease of season 2, what's to come.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching Flash Talk. Next week is Gorilla Grodd. What's the episode called?
Guerrilla Warfare.
Right.
So Gorilla Grodd's going to be awesome. I love him. They did him so well last time, and I think...
he was very subdued in that first episode that he was
in.
So I think he's going to be doing a lot more rampaging,
which will be
more guerrilla action.
Very Gorilla Grodd, which is cool.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm Michael Fosbeck. This is Dylan.
Thanks. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.